My dear brothers and sisters in the risen Lord, third week of Advent, Monday. Obstinate unbelief is doomed. Noah Webster, 1758 to 1843, was an American lexicographer. His American Dictionary of the English Language, 1828, was the first dictionary to give comprehensive coverage of American usage. A friend once asked him, "What do you consider the most important thought that ever occupied your mind?" A friend once asked him, "What do you consider the most important thought that ever occupied your mind?" And immediately the great man replied, "The most important thought that has ever occupied my mind was that of my individual responsibility to God." My individual responsibility to God. In today's gospel, when Jesus entered the temple, the chief priests and the elders began to insolently question his authority. Let us note first the hypocrisy of the chief priests and the elders. The chief priests and the elders were the judges of the people. Who are they? The chief priests and the elders were the judges of the people. The chief priests were judges in the ecclesiastical. The chief priests were the judges in the ecclesiastical courts and the elders in the civil courts. They had a right to question Jesus. Because they were legally appointed to God and interpreted the laws. When Jesus began to preach and teach, it was their duty to question him. When Jesus began to preach, when Jesus began to teach and preach, it was their duty to question him. When they arrested their right to question the authority and the activity of Jesus, when they accepted their right to question the authority and the activity of Jesus, they should have fulfilled their obligation of forming a judgment on the teaching of John the Baptist, who went before Jesus. They who were so forward in questioning the authority of Jesus should have been forward in the forming a judgment on the activity and the mission of John the Baptist. Jesus, who searches the hearts of men, made their hypocrisy public when he questioned them. What was the origin of John's baptism, heaven or human? Again, what was the origin, the root of John's baptism, heaven or human? Seeking refuge in safety and not in truth, they replied that they were ignorant of it. They proved themselves malicious and carnal when they refused to make up their mind on John the Baptist, but desired to know the source of Jesus' authority. They desired to know the source of Jesus' authority. These chief priests and the elders who questioned Jesus' authority were liars. The chief priests and the elders who questioned Jesus' authority were liars. They failed to answer Jesus about the origin of John's baptism because they were afraid of the people. They feared the wrath of the people more than the wrath of God. They were timid towards the people, but brave towards to God. They were hypocrites who valued safety to truth. The authority of Jesus. The authority of Jesus. The chief priests and the elders questioned the authority of Jesus. They asked him, by what authority are you doing these things? By what authority do you doing these things? When Jesus triumphantly entered Jerusalem riding on a donkey, the beast of the Messiah, he manifested that he was the Messiah. He manifested that he was the Messiah. He cleansed the temple by chasing away the buyers and the sellers from the temple precincts. And he even dried up the fig tree which bore no fruits. He was neither a priest nor a Levite, yet he taught and preached in the temple. They wanted to know with what authority he was doing all these things. Jesus' authority came from the Father. He was the one on whom the heavens opened and the Holy Spirit descended in bodily form, and about whom the heavenly voice declared, "You are my beloved Son." Luke chapter 3 verse 21 to 23. You are my well-beloved Son. He is the Messiah, the promised of God. He performs his mighty deeds by his own power and authority, which come not from any man. He performed miracles in his own name. He performed miracles in his own name and in his name of Yahweh. And he taught and preached with authority, not as the scribes and the Pharisees, but as the one who created the heavens